Arun, thanks for coming on the show. A lot of us know you as the head of Polaris, but we'd like to know about the background story of how you got to where you are right now. So talk us through your entrepreneurial journey. Let's start with your education.
Okay, I did my education not in a right path. I joined pre-medical. And
did you say medical?
Pre-medical, yeah.
Okay.
Before medical, there's a pre-medical used to be there when 11 plus 1 system used to be there. And since in a middle class family you have to see one son is an engineer, second son maybe better a doctor. So I got into pre-medical when I got a slightly better score in my higher secondary marks. And suddenly in the middle of the pre-medical I realized that this is not my core interest, but I couldn't share this with my father that I want to waste 1 year of my earnable time at that stage. But somehow I shared with my brother, and brother supported me in that journey to shift myself to the engineering. Then I did my engineering in Delhi College of Engineering. I think the important part of entrepreneurship, when I was reflecting back, came in sometime in second year of my education. We had a small informal group called Ullas, which is still Ullas Trust is named after that. But we have organized charity film show on a Delight Cinema, and we didn't have any money for it. We didn't have, but we wanted to do something big. It was a group of 20 people, not supported by Delhi College of Engineering. It's an independent group. 2 students in Maulana Azad College, 2 students in Delhi College, 2 students in Lady Irwin College. But we wanted to do something big event there, and that event with no money, everybody said that it will not work out. You'll lose the money, and we didn't have any backup support to even lose the money. But when we did it, we put a seminar together. We hired the theater, we hired the movie, and the whole house was full, and we made something like 3,000 rupees in 1979. Maybe the seeding of entrepreneurship, that where the confidence level that something can be done without money was established at that point of time. So then after coming out of college, again there was a opportunity to go to job. So I got a telco job, which was one of the most prestigious in 1983. But somehow I got 2 other friends joining me. So instead of going to any of the companies, we set up a first company called International Information Systems and engage in a programming engagements at that point of time.
So tell me this, and this is a question that a lot of current students in colleges might have. Is it wise to start off on an entrepreneurial journey right after college, or is it wise to get yourself a few years of experience and then jumping in?
My personal observation is the 2 kind of people who are starting the entrepreneurship venture. One is when you establish yourself around the age of 35, your family settled, you have less pressure to do it. Sometime when you start after 5 years, when you are choosing between career and the family settlement time, then that becomes a bad timings. So timing has to be right when you are nothing to lose kind of a thing. When you pass out from college, then nothing to lose.
Correct.
But then you have to have a right partnership with you. 3 or 4 people should be there who can support each other. Normally when I have seen some of the entrepreneurs which are only one guy wants to do something big. In the early journey you require huge amount of emotional support to each other. Society doesn't recognize in India entrepreneurship as a great career. They say if person doesn't have a job, that's why he's doing it. So that's a big issue in society today. In Indian society, entrepreneurship is not respected profession when you start zero base, and that's is a barrier. If you have 2-3 friends at least, you can share your evenings together when the down moments are there during that cycle. So first 3-4 years are really tough for any entrepreneurship unless you succeed.
Right. So you started off with IIS, International Information Services. How did that morph into Polaris?
So from that, the 3 of us, myself, Vishnu Sad, Yogesh was there. So there is a story of 3 idiots which we have in Economic Times, who got published last 3-4 months back. That has a much more deeper story that our friendship was continuing from 1974, and we started the company in 83. So we had a better understanding of each other and respecting each other's talent and working forward towards it, which morphed into a nucleus in 1986. And then in 1990 I came to Chennai, and 1993 it morphed into Polaris. So their journey is a 3-step journey, I would say, from IIS to Nucleus to Polaris.
From Nucleus to Polaris, the golden jump point was the tie-up with Citibank. Was that right?
Tie-up with Citibank was in 1986 itself, when Citibank has chosen us as a dedicated partner. I would say the important point was Citibank was looking for a partner, and we committed that we will be working dedicated to them.
Okay.
While everybody wants to work with 20 customers, so there is a simple philosophy which is there, is that you have to distribute your eggs into multiple baskets to survive.
Correct.
We put all the eggs in one basket called Citibank, and that is contrarian to the logic of entrepreneur. Our logic was simple, that if I am dependent on Citibank, I have to make Citibank dependent on me on understanding of their technology. If I am the best person who understands their technology and it's critical for their business success, my risks are mitigated. So I am equally dependent. So we created an interdependent relationship with Citibank, and that given us a quality of delivery we can deliver. If I have to distribute into 5 different clients, I will not be able to do the same job. So every entrepreneurship venture has a different story, but in our case, for first 7 years, we just had one client.
Okay. A lot of people say that becoming an entrepreneur is an easier job, but growing from a small team and going through the growth pangs and then becoming big is where the real pain is. So how did you overcome the growth pangs?
That's a brilliant question. I would say that in any entrepreneurship or any corporate growth or any larger community growth, the stages are there. When you are a team of, whenever 0 added to the teams, you have a different complexity gets added. So the team, when it's a 2 people team, when it becomes 10 people team, there's a first change there. The change happens when we have a team of single digit team, everybody knows everybody else.
Correct.
There's no formal structures required to deliver certain things. As soon as it becomes next stage, when it becomes 2 digit numbers, when it's 20 people team, 30 people team, the formal structure start coming into place.
Correct.
And that formal structure needs to be designed, and the entrepreneur has to unlearn what he learned, what was working for 7 people team doesn't work when it becomes a formal structure, because he's never a formal. Entrepreneur is willing to do anything and everything in the world to meet the client needs. That's what he's surviving for. When it becomes 30 people team, he himself cannot do. He has to get the work done from rest of the members. That's again, when it becomes 100 people plus, you have another challenge comes in, because then you have a 3-layered architecture comes in the organization, and it moves from 2-layer architecture. Now similar, like when we say 3-layer technology architecture, 3-layer organization structure becomes very different challenges are there.
Correct.
You need to learn, entrepreneurs to learn how to manage managers. First stage he is learning how to manage people, and second stage is learning how to manage managers, which he has never had a formal education, because he never had time to go to university to learn back those basic principles there.
All the MBAs and stuff.
Then as soon as you become 500 plus, 1000 plus, you have 4 or 5 level hierarchy comes in. So each time when you are becoming 1000 people, then it's a 4-layer hierarchy coming in. As soon as becoming 5000 people, it becomes a 6-layer hierarchy coming in. So each time the role of entrepreneur is changing significantly from execution, which is a starting point, to planning at second time, and execution, planning and execution, and then it's moving to strategies and the marketing and branding and customer relationship and customer service and building a detailed processes. So I think unlearning is a very significant term for entrepreneur, and education each stage, investment in education is a very, very important point. So I would say every 5 years entrepreneur has to relearn. First he has to unlearn something, what was working, and then he has to relearn. So in my journey, I would say 1990 was the learning. When I shifted to Chennai, I unlearned a lot of things which I was prevalent in Delhi, which I unlearned there and put it in Chennai. 1995, I attended a workshop of transformational leadership with one of the management consultant. 20 different CEO was there. That is the first time I got exposed to CEO like Vikram Lal, who was Aisha consultancy CEOs. So that was the second unlearning curve which happened with me. Sometime in year 2000, when we acquired Orbitech, it was a big unlearning and learning of working with the larger corporation. Then around 2006, 2007, when we are building a product, is another curve for unlearning and learning for me.